I never believed in love at first sight, until it happened to me. But what makes it unsettling is that it wasn't supposed to happen that way. It was a rainy afternoon, and I ducked into this little cafe I'd never been to before, just to escape the downpour. The place was warm and smelled of fresh pastries and coffee, with a cozy corner by the window that seemed to be calling my name. I ordered a cappuccino and settled in with a book, the rain pattering softly against the glass. And then I saw him. He was sitting at a table across the room, hunched over a notebook, scribbling away like the world outside didn't exist. There was something about him, the way his dark hair fell over his forehead, his intense concentration, that made me stare a little longer than I should have. And then, as if sensing my gaze, he looked up. Our eyes met, and for a moment, I forgot how to breathe. He gave me a small, shy smile, and I swear, my heart skipped a beat. It was like in that instant, everything around us faded away. The rain, the chatter of the cafe, even the book in my hands, all of it vanished. All I could see was him. Without thinking, I smiled back. And just like that, something shifted. He stood up, slowly making his way toward me, his eyes never leaving mine. My heart pounded in my chest as he stopped at my table. "Hi," he said, his voice soft, almost hesitant. "I know this might sound strange, but I feel like I've seen you before." I laughed nervously. Funny, I was thinking the same thing. We talked for what felt like hours, lost in each other's stories and laughter. It was the most effortless conversation I'd ever had. We just clicked. I've never felt such an instant connection with anyone before. It was like meeting an old friend for the first time. But then, as quickly as it began, it ended. His phone rang, and he excused himself, stepping outside to take the call. I watched him through the window, feeling a strange sense of longing, like I already knew I didn't want this moment to end. And then, he was gone. Just like that, he disappeared into the rain, leaving nothing but a damp napkin on the table with a single word scribbled on it. Sorry. I asked the barista if he knew the guy. She just shook her head and said she hadn't seen anyone matching his description. I checked my watch, checked the door, even stepped outside, but there was no sign of him. It was as if he had never been there at all. I never saw him again. But every time it rains, I find myself drawn back to that cafe, hoping to catch a glimpse of him, to pick up where we left off. It's silly, I know, but sometimes I still feel his presence, like a ghost of a love that almost was, and I can't help but wonder if maybe, somewhere out there, he's thinking the same thing.